Hey everybody, so this is going to be our introduction video for your digital painting portrait project. Here is a copy of mine that's finalized, but I'm going to be breaking it down and going over step by step what things are as we go, but just want to showcasing you kind of what you should be ready to look at. So we're going to be building this project entirely in Sketchbook. Reason being is that it's going to simulate a Wacom tablet really well to the equivalent of Photoshop. At the end, we can do a little bit of tips and trick in Photoshop to get it ready for print, and that'll be a good leeway into Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator for the remainder of the school year. This will be the only time that you're using Sketchbook. So I want to go over a few things in the user interface first that you might already know, but just in case, here they are. So if you look at the right side of the screen here, where I'm kind of scrolling up and down, these are your layers. You're going to be making a lot of different content on different layers in case something happens. So let me hide some layers. And what I'm doing when I'm hiding layers is I'm clicking these little eyeball icons that are inside each little preview square on the right. So this checkerboard pattern, if you ever see this in Sketchbook, is a transparent background. Like it'll print on whatever color paper there is. At the very, very bottom of your layers, I have a pink circle. Yours by default will be white. And if you show that layer with the eyeball, oops, let me close that, you will see just a white background. This is default, so I'm gonna set it up like this just so it makes sense. But anyway, that's where we're looking at in the bottom right. So in addition to that, the first step later, not right now, that you'll be doing is you're going to be importing a photograph of somebody that you want to do a portrait of. I chose Dr. Strange, grabbed a photograph. As you can see, the resolution or quality of the photo is not that good. That doesn't matter because in the final result, that photo is hidden. Nobody will ever see that except for you, the designer, working on it. So if the quality's not great, don't worry. As long as you can tell what's where, then you're okay. After that, if I scroll all the way to the top, my topmost layer is a little bit of an outline of the character. This helps us color it in the next step. If I hide the stock photo, you'll see that I just did a really rough outline. This does not have to be great. Don't worry about that when we get to that step. After the outline, you're going to be doing what I call a base coat of color. If I show this layer here and hide my outline, then you'll get a better look at what that exactly looks like. So the base coat of color, if I zoom in, you'll see I just took a solid color, directly sampling it from the photo, and I've placed it in the corresponding areas. Think kind of like a coloring book almost. So let me hide that layer and now show you this one. In this layer, what I did was I duplicated. I made a copy of my base coat, and I took all of these really cool smudge tools in Sketchbook, and I've just kind of smudged them together. It blends it and kind of makes it look like an oil painting. After I did that, I should zoom out for this part, where you're going to be adding a nice, simple, but pretty cool background. You're going to start with a gradient of a color right here, the layer I've selected with the blue. I try to go with like a spacey theme. After that, you're going to be taking different brushes and also maybe even different smudge tools if you want, and you're just going to add just some sparks of color to go along with it over top of it. And then in a final touch, I added a little bit of effects over top of Dr. Strange, because you can see here this layer that I'm about to show is literally above Dr. Strange right there, or the portrait. And in that one, I just had these little glowy effects to help add a nice little final result. So hopefully this gives you a good breakdown of what the project is. And now we're just going to set up the file so that you're ready to kind of do your research and figure out who you want to do. So first things first, hopefully by now you have Sketchbook open. If not, find Sketchbook on your iPad and open it. I'll go back out to my homepage. Sketchbook is down in my bottom center screen. You'll see a pencil with like an orange icon. You could swipe down and type in Sketchbook and you'll see that it comes up. So to create a new file in Sketchbook, in the very top menu, all the way over to the left, you're going to see an icon that looks kind of like a bulleted list. If you click that, 4 options will pop up. The one that you want is New Sketch in the top left. Now, with New Sketch, you're going to see this window come up, and this is by far the most important part of this entire lesson. Well, not lesson, but daily lesson, not the whole project, is the width and the height. That's what the W and H right there stand for. Before I even bother typing in numbers, I want you to look at this little icon to the right of the W and H. It kind of looks like a link, like a chain link. If it is attached, like it is right now that I just clicked it, when I edit the width, the height will also edit with it. Watch, I'm gonna make the width 600 and hit done. You'll see that the height automatically changed with it. We don't want them to change together, so go ahead and click that to where you see a slight separation. After that, where it says W for the width, we're gonna make these a long rectangle, like sideways, so the width is gonna be a lot bigger. These numbers are in pixels, mind you. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate inches, so that way it's easier to like print out. And the size that we're gonna be going for in inches is 12 by 18, or 18 by 12, I guess in this case. So for pixels, I already converted it for you just to save some time, 5,400. So let me just say that again, 5400, and then hit done. Go into height, delete whatever height you have. The height will be 3600, 3,600, and then hit done. You should see your little preview white square should turn into a long ways rectangle, and then go ahead and hit create. If you are working on anything that you want to save, go ahead and hit save sketch. That way you don't lose it, and then you should end up with a nice large white rectangle. We're gonna wait for this to load. There it is. All right, in the next video, you're gonna be learning how to import your photo and start your outline. So until then, guys, go ahead, get some research done and take